Welcome to 5 Minutes in the Word, a daily devotional in the Word of God.
We as people get drawn in by the world all the time, drawn into those sinful things that we know we as Christians should have no part of, that we actually know that no one should have any part of. And yet, those are the very things we find ourselves drawn into. We as Christians need to be careful. We need to be watchful in these things. We need to do this for ourselves, for those around us, for our friends, family members, for everyone we come in contact with. Because we as Christians, we need to represent the truth. We need to represent godliness and righteousness, and we need to be seeking after these things every day of our life. In fact, as we go as Christians, we're to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. We're to teach about Christ and Him crucified. We're to show people the way, to show them Jesus and the way He has called us to live. As Christians, we have to make a choice. Who do we love? Do we love the world or do we love God? In 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15, it says, "Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him." We as Christians, we have to make a choice in our life, and that's a daily choice we have to make. That's a choice moment by moment, day by day. We have to continually make a choice. Who are we going to love? Are we going to love Satan in this world, or are we going to love God? The text here says, "Do not love the world or the things in the world," and I think that presents us the problem. Is that we as Christians oftentimes we say, "Well, of course I love God, and of course I love Him," but oftentimes what we really love is the things of this world, because those are the kind of things we fill with our time. Those are the kind of things we spend our money on. Those are the kind of things we put into our heart. But while our words might say, "I love God" or "I love you," our actions say something completely and totally different. We need to show our love in our hearts, in our actions, in our lives, in everything that we are. We need to show our love for God and not for the things of this world. It says, "Do not love the world or the things in this world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him." We have to make a choice in who we are going to love, and hopefully we will all choose to love God, because this is what the world is like. It says, "For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world." We find ourselves seeking after these worldly things, seeking after these things that oftentimes it's just for a momentary amount of pleasure. It looks fun, it sounds fun, we think it's going to bring fulfillment to our life. Satan in the world has done a really good job at telling us that all these sinful things are so good and wonderful, and we need to partake in these things. These are the kind of things that we get lured by, that we are enticed by. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life. But notice this: these are the things of this world. They are not of the Father. And we as Christians, we need to be seeking after the Father. Yes, we're going to have temptations in life, and yes, we're going to be drawn into things, and that's why we as Christians need to be so diligent in this. We need to be so cautious and so careful, being on watch and being people that teach godliness and righteousness everywhere we go. It says, and the world is passing away, and the lust of it, but he who does the will of God abides forever. A moment ago we mentioned that we seek after those things that are temporary, that are just for that momentary amount of pleasure, and that's what this life is. This life is temporary. And in this life, we have a choice to make, as we've said all along. We have a choice to make if we're going to serve God or we're going to serve man. We're going to serve this world. We're going to serve ourselves. And if we're seeking after the things of, that look good and sound good, and, we think that the world says is going to add fulfillment, then we're going to get just that. We're going to get the earthly side of fulfillment. What the earth says is success and wealth and maybe even fame and fortune. We might get all of those things, and we will have gained the world, but yet we'll have lost our souls. We as people, we know as Christians that we are not to love this world, and we are to love God with our heart, soul, mind, strength, that we are to love God with our entire being. And so today, as we look at this text, as we see this, I hope that we will take a clear evaluation of our life and the things that we love. Are we loving the world? And is our love more than just words? Are we doing more than just saying, "I love you, God"? Are we doing more than just showing up to a worship service? Are we showing God we love Him day by day? And are we putting the kind of things, those godly and righteous things, into our hearts, into our minds, and are we living them out each and every day? Today, Let us choose to love God, to love Him, to abide in Him. And if we will do those kind of things, then we can be with Him forever.